Hey guys, welcome to another video for biology. In this video, I'm going to take time to explain the Lac Operon. I know that the video that I showed you in class was a little bit confusing, so I'm going to try and simplify what is happening. Now, again, you think of the big picture here. We're talking about gene regulation, right? So this is one way. Well, in class we talked about the trip operon, and this video is discussing the Lac Operon, referring to lactose. So this is one of the ways that genes regulate expressing themselves, right? So again, we want to think big picture here, and the big picture for this particular idea is that we're processing lactose, right? So we're digesting lactose. So remember, lactose is a type of sugar, and again, this is how E. coli processes lactose. So if lactose is present in the system, right? So if it's present, then that means we need enzymes to digest the lactose, right? And those enzymes don't just exist in the human body. They have to be produced, they have to be made. And in an organism, there is a genetic code. There's a genetic code that processes, that has instructions for making these enzymes that will then digest lactose. All right, and that code is called genes. So if you remember the long string of DNA that each organism has, just like a book, when you have a long string of letters, well, you separate those letters to make words, to make sentences, paragraphs, and so on, to express an idea. Likewise, with the genetic code, with genes, you have a long string of DNA, and each segment of DNA codes for something specific, like an enzyme. And in this case, we're talking about the genes that code for the enzymes to digest lactose. Okay, so take a second to kind of absorb that, so you can kind of get what's going on with the story that this is telling. So lactose is present. That means we need the enzymes. That means the RNA polymerase will hook onto the promoter section of the DNA, and then it will code, it will go down the line on DNA, and it will make the mRNA that will code for the enzymes, right? And so now I have the enzymes that will process, digest the lactose. Now, when the lactose is no longer present, I have completed digesting the lactose. What will happen is, those enzymes are no longer needed, right? So remember the big picture. We have lactose, so we need to digest it. Now that it's digested, we don't need the enzymes anymore. So now comes in a repressor molecule, okay? So without the lactose, let me back up. Without the lactose, this repressor molecule is active. With the lactose, it makes it inactive. Now this is important because the repressor gene keeps the RNA polymerase from coding for the enzymes, which makes sense, because why would I make enzymes if I don't have the lactose to digest, right? So with the absence of the lactose, I don't need the enzymes. So that repressor gene becomes active, and it links to the promoter site of the genetic code. And as it links to the promoter side, it prevents the RNA polymerase from binding, which makes sense because I don't need the enzymes. So as it prevents it from binding, it doesn't make mRNA, which means it doesn't make the enzymes. Now, when the organism consumes lactose again, now that I have lactose, I need to digest the lactose. So that lactose, some of the lactose will bind to the repressor gene, making it inactive, which will cause it to fall off the promoter, now leaving room for the RNA polymerase to code for the enzymes again. And the cycle will continue. So the RNA polymerase will go down the genetic code, making mRNA, which codes for the enzymes, and then the enzymes can get to work consuming the lactose. And as soon as it finishes consuming all the lactose, what happens? The repressor gene becomes active again, and it prevents the mRNA polymerase from making any more enzymes because it doesn't need them anymore. Okay, Well, I hope that this video helped. It's it's a lot more simple of a process than the video that I showed you in class. So I hope this simplified it and gives you the big picture of genetic regulation. One of the ways that your genes regulates from producing something that it doesn't need, right? And how that, for example, with the Lac Operon, if I have lactose present, then I need the enzymes to consume that lactose, digest that lactose. But if it's not present, then I don't need that. So there's ways of it's kind of a self-regulating system where the genes and the molecule that it's trying to digest or process work with each other and communicating with each other what's needed and what's not needed. Okay guys, thanks for watching. I hope this helped and good luck in your studying.